welcome to Above and Beyond Affiliate Marketing. I am your host, Jason Ryland, and we just want to give you the greatest strategies to help you move forward faster and get you where you want to go. Now, today we're still continuing. This is actually episode 4 of our just the greatness of habits, right? So now we're going to break down the bad habits and break down the habit loop. So let me further explain. We have a high chance of sticking to a behavior over time when we keep doing it regularly because the routine is so very powerful and can help us cultivate new habits or aid us in reinforcing the old ones, right? So change isn't easy at all. It just isn't. Imagine that you had to stop doing what you always have been doing, and it's going to be tough. But still, you'll have to do it because it's best for you. And if you change what's necessary to help you move forward, then you can start living a better life. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening, right? Because breaking habits won't probably be as easy as you may have thought it would be if you have some habits that you like or don't like to change, because it's vital that you maintain positive habits such as reading every night, finishing off your lunch break in a short walk, or taking that extra glass of water when you wake up, or you'll have to start working on letting go of your bad and negative habits. Now, I'm going to start talking about a habit loop, and you guys are going to take note of this, maybe listen to this podcast again, because this is going to be a really important segment. It's all important. This one is also a very important subject that I want you to keep note, because there's actually 3 parts of this habit loop. I've done the research, I've done the due diligence, and I want to say that the habit loop has kind of been briefly talked about in our previous chapter, our previous episode, that you have an idea what it means for you to break a habit, but you must understand how it works. So there are actually 3 main components of the habit loop. This cue is what kicks off your habitual behavior. It's the trigger, and it can also be called the reminder. So the cues, we talked about that in our last episode, can take different forms, and they can vary widely, and they can incite habits or routine behaviors. Now, here's some of the categories that they kind of usually fall into. Your last action cue, the people around you, that's a cue, a current emotional state, time, your location, those are all cues, right? So let's just say one beautiful morning you're walking past that favorite restaurant of yours, and there's such a nice smell coming out of it, and you're kind of close to that entrance, and because of that smell you just find it so tempting to get in and get something, right? Even though you might have had something already that morning, right? In this case, that cue may be that restaurant, it may be your location, it may be just the aroma of a certain food, and by walking by, that ends up being kind of your last action, right? Because now, if you hadn't passed that side or that area or that location, what's the possibility that you wouldn't have smelled that food or aroma? Do you kind of get it? Kind of get where I'm coming from? So when people jiggle their legs or bite their nails, or are often cued to engage in those self-soothing behaviors, right? It soothes them. So when they're in that nervous state of mind, and more so, people are cued to wash their hands after they take an action of, like, flushing the toilet or doing something in the bathroom, right? You have to take action of washing your hands. Your dog, like, you can hear maybe my dog's barking right now. We have a FedEx guy that had just showed up at the door. So now it's time for them to bark at the FedEx man because they're doing their job and they're being polite, but the dogs are insistent by wanting to say somebody's here, somebody's here, somebody's here, kind of an instinct behavioral thing. Now, the routine is, and this is the part 2 of this loop, right? That repeated behavior that they have when let's like somebody comes in, somebody's at the door, they're new, it's a habit for them. Okay, we can get in that same routine, and it may be getting now. Okay, that's an example because it just kind of happened as I'm doing the show. I use that example. Another thing is getting up from your desk, or like the clock at your work hits 5 p.m. and that's when you're supposed to clock out, or anything that you're totally aware of. There are some habits that you might happen less consciously. For instance, while you're thinking through a difficult problem, you may be chewing on the tip of your pen, or tapping that pencil, because we had talked about that before. Or maybe tapping your finger on the desk. Something unconscious, right? The first time you carried out that action, you may be consciously choosing to pursue that action, but habitually, the behavior kind of happens automatically now. Okay, so as we're getting into that, let me kind of give you an idea. Like if you're going through your social media and that helps you unwind, you're like, I'm bored, or let me just scroll through something, let me just have a cup of coffee, I just need to relax, I'm tired. So before you know it, you're already used to taking that cup of coffee whenever you're tired, right? I'm tired, I need caffeine. Whether it's coffee is your thing, or cappuccino, or having a Coke type product, or whatever caffeine that you like, that's a signal. I'm tired, I need something to jolt myself back up. When actually, if you just ate an apple and went for a walk, it'd probably be better, right? You understand where I'm trying to get to? You're automatically doing these things whenever you're bored, hungry, tired, whatever. So now, here comes the reward. This is the third part of this whole loop. So now, the reward from all those, so the reward from the cue, from the routine. So now that you're walking by the thing, your place, and then you get that aroma, you get that smell, and the routine is like, I want it. I just had something, but you know what? That smells so good. And now the reward is getting that. Okay, so now you get why there's loops here. So those habits firmly place, and they help reinforce the habit. So the reward has to do with a particular behavior and what it does for you, and that how it becomes that habit. So you earn a reward of a better relationship when you cultivate it in the habit of frequently communicating. Okay? Now, let's talk about relationships. A very delicate subject for some, but think about this. So, if the reward of a better relationship is when you cultivate the habit of frequently communicating with your partner with sweet words, you're rewarded with a clean, fresh, just the mood. It just ends up being a nice part of the reciprocation that you get from your partner. So now, same thing that the reward is, and I'll just go to brushing your teeth. You're rewarded with a clean, fresh mouth when you brush your teeth after you eat. Now, obviously, some rewards can benefit you, and other habits don't have the intention of keeping that reinforcement, and they have less beneficial rewards. So, even if you don't realize it, you may begin to develop a craving for a behavior as soon as your brain starts associating that behavior with some type of reward. Doesn't matter. See, the thing is, we talked about this before. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad, because your brain doesn't think in good and bad. You do. You know, you think of bad and good consequences to certain behaviors, but your brain doesn't decipher that. It's absolutely just based on what you've trained it to do. Okay? So here's examples of that habit loop in action. There are several examples that I can give you guys that helps you. So I can get a little bit more in detail about how it all works. So now, how about those who shop online? Okay, that's the bad habit. We'll label that the bad habit. So while you shop, part of the hour just slips by. Now, shopping itself is the routine, and the reward is the pleasure of glancing at the household goods or the new clothes, plus the relief of boredom the digital excursions offer, right? So you make a decision to discover the cues of your browsing, since you want to make an effort to change this habit, right? So in the course of you finding that right after you've pursued your social media, or you're all about yourself and you just start shopping. So whenever you feel stuck, frustrated, or bored, you tend to have a higher chance of obliging to that retail therapy, is what I call it. So, do you guys like that? So, what can you do? I'm gonna say that you obviously can find a better way to distract yourself when you feel bored, or because this is why we're here. We're trying to break what the habit demands. Same thing with if you guys are in affiliate marketing. You guys, this next shiny object. I get stuff in my email box all the time, my inbox, constantly, about this offer, that offer, and the next shiny object. And some of it is amazing, some of it's junk, some of it's just fluff. And you have to decipher all that. But we all, especially as affiliate marketer, want our lives to be just a little bit more easier, just a little bit some type of software, some type of thing that gets us to that next level. And I'm here to tell you that some of that may be true, but you have to decide that for yourselves. But you can actually go down the rabbit hole of a habit of getting these products or services that don't serve you what your real dream is to go on. Yes, there's push and play. We offer things in our own show. I mean, if you go to rmgmedia.biz, we actually have a blueprint. Now, we don't believe in any get rich quick program. We don't. We believe in the hard work, and we believe in being of value to you and serving you guys. We want to be able to serve other people. And that's why our progress, our programs are designed to help you do that. But again, even as stated by law, as by law, we have to have a disclaimer like this. We can't do anything, and we can't make you, we can lead you to the water, we can't make you drink it. We don't make any guarantees about your own ability to get results. Because why? Because it's your idea, it's your information, it's your program, it's your strategies that you have to do in order to get there. We will give you all the tools, and believe me, if you follow our tools, you'll get there. And we've we've have many success stories with other people that have followed us, that have uh, committed their time and their effort, but we don't know you. And besides, your results in your life are strictly up to you. That's why we're here giving you this information. We want to be of value. We want you to plug in. We want you to be of value to yourself and to others. And if we can be that value to you to give and help you, there's nothing that makes us happier. And we do have the tools, and yes, we try and keep them affordable for you guys. And we help you by giving you our greatest strategies to help you move forward faster. But again, any financial numbers, anything that we say, any future earnings, anything on our site or emails, or our projections is things that we've done that are real. I mean, there are no fluff here. There are good hard numbers, and people have had major success with our sources and our resources. But we have to tell you, it's completely up to you. So, if I got off on that tangent because when you're changing these form of habits, you're gonna have to stick with something. We want you to stick with us, obviously, but we also know that we're not gonna steer you down that wrong road. Okay, we're gonna be a value and a resource for you. We do have programs for you to help your success, but nominally, we're also in business as well. We're in business to helping you succeed. Now, let's go back into the habit of texting your you got in the habit of texting your friend, family member, your spouse, your partner, whatever, so much, and that, let's say you were dating somebody that you were just in the habit of texting, and then a couple months ago or years ago, whatever, you two agreed to move on because your futuristic goals are not aligned, and because things would turn out better if you got into a situationship because of the chemistry between you two and the company you enjoy. This habit will definitely be holding you back because you got to be honest with yourself. Foremost, you'll be reluctant to pursue a relationship with anything else or with anybody else because you're stuck in that situationship. Now, you may get stuck and destabilized looking for cues. So you need to find out what makes you call somebody that is maybe an ex or former employer or former friend. Because sometimes it happens when you feel down or you feel lonely or you feel that you had a stressful day and you got in the habit of reaching out to those people, and now they're just not a part of your life anymore, but yet you feeling the need to reach out to them. Now that we're not talking about borderline, anything else, where I'm going with that, but I'm talking about the emotional support that sometimes a partner provides and the satisfaction or the rewards that you get from actually getting together with that person. So then you had to think of, what's the way forward, Jason? What do we do? So since you're not yet to be connected with someone new, what you must do is look for another source of emotional support, such as a close family member or friend. This will kind of help you break that habit of texting that friend, that ex-friend or ex-family member, or I say ex-family member because that does happen in life. Unfortunately, it does, or ex-partner. And I use that as a scenario because that actually was a study that I was reading of. We live in a digital world. I mean, we just are. And the one thing that ends up happening is that we get stuck, and we need to break these habits. Um, and there's so much support for for that out there. Now, same thing goes for if you want weight loss. Okay, you get in the bad habit of endless snacking. Unhealthy junk foods like candy, soda, salty chips are what most people tend to snack on, especially children. Especially, I find myself resisting milk duds. Honestly, I'll go to the store and I need to go get some bread and stuff like that. And I'm just like, you know what? I could use some milk duds on the drive home, or I could, you know what? I would like to have. I'm bored sitting and I have a long drive because I'm going to the next meeting, or I need to go to the airport and stuff like that. And as I'm singing to my favorite tunes or listening to my favorite podcast, Above and Beyond Affiliate Marketing, I will tend to reflect and do all that stuff and have the habit of eating milk duds. I have gotten in the habit of eating milk duds. So now, both, you have to think about that. So now you as an adult or a child snack because it becomes worrisome if the foods that you're eating are high in calories, and then you're repleting with empty carbs. Snacking around the clock is such a bad habit. Most people are guilty of this, and I'm guilty of that too. And we have to get rid of this habit. You should avoid stocking up on the snacks you can't resist, right? So even my wife and I won't buy certain snacks because we'll just eat them. And we just are. We actually, my wife lost over 100 pounds. I lost 75 pounds. We know what we're talking about. So rather, we kind of let almonds and yogurt or air popped popcorn, right? Carrots, cucumber slices, um, lots of other healthy snacks that are within our reach. Grapes. We love raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, stuff like that. So we get into the habit of reaching for those, then our salty snack, right? Um, Here's another bad habit, and I know you guys heard this one before: skipping breakfast. Now, this is a bad habit, and it's a common that with most of us, breakfast gives us that boost of energy you need for your task for the day. So, I bet you guys didn't even know that your metabolism can begin to slow when you skip an important meal like breakfast. You should always create a time to eat breakfast, even if there are several other tasks that are getting your attention in the morning. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So what can you do? Try easy items like a smoothie, homemade cereal bars, like better ones. I mean, good ones. I mean, please look at no high fructose corn syrup stuff. But get away from that stuff. But try and find something that is that you can make at your house that is good and nutritious. Um, because one, or just eat whole fruit or whatever you have. Because sometimes you feel rushed and can't put it all together. So if you pre-do it, the foods you consume on the run can be ready, and you're ready to go for your healthy morning, healthy day. And that can be very helpful in breaking the habit of skipping breakfast, right? We always think we don't have time, we got to I get up an hour early before my son gets up, before he has to catch the bus. Why? That's my time to sit down. I read scripture, I read the Bible, I get my day going. I have my breakfast. I'll have either a smoothie that I've already made, or even if I didn't have it ready made, I have it portioned out for what I'm going to make, so I can just put it um, in my bullet and be done with it, and we're good, right? So, or just uh, some yogurt and some nice whole fruit. And fruit can be expensive. I know this. So a lot of times I just use frozen fruit, big bags of fruit that I buy at uh, um, Sam's Club, and I buy a whole bag of it, and I can just mix it together, and then it doesn't go bad so quickly because I understand that process too. So um, actually, that's good. We got to stop the show for today. There's so much. We're actually gonna have a part two segment. So I'm being flagged like, well, we got to get going. We got to wrap this up. So we're actually gonna continue tomorrow for part two of this amazing, amazing topic, because there are so many ways to help you guys, and we want to help you break down the bad habits and this habit loop that you're in. Please tune in tomorrow for part two of this very important segment. And God bless. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. May you forever be richer. And this is Jason Ryland, your host of Above and Beyond Affiliate Marketing.